Welcome to this live stream from First Unitarian Church of Des Moines. Our mission is to love radically, grow ethically and spiritually, and serve justly. We invite you to visit our website at www.ucdsm.org. It's a great way to explore all that our church has to offer, from adult programs, to religious education, to social justice work, and more. Today's service will look a little different. We're temporarily holding services in Griffin Hall while we renovate our auditorium. It's a small inconvenience and a welcome sign of our thriving and growing church community. Today's service is about to begin. So now we'll take you inside Griffin Hall. today, let the bells ring as they did in Philadelphia on July 8th, 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was read aloud at a public gathering for the very first time. Let them ring 3 times, as they did in 1865. First, in January, when Congress passed the 13th Amendment, sending it to the states for ratification. Again in April, with the end of the Civil War, 2 years after our nation's president stood amongst the dead at Gettysburg and called for a new birth of freedom in America, such that government of the people, by the people, and for the people shall not perish from the earth. And a third time in December, with the ratification of the 13th Amendment, barring slavery forever in the United States. In our own century, let the bells ring again across the nation, as they did in 2013, to commemorate the 50th anniversary of a speech given on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial by an African-American preacher who told us of his dream for a nation in which freedom would repeatedly ring, and where one day the nation would rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. Let the bells ring with joy as we commemorate the 250th birthday of our nation, the world's oldest democracy. And now please join in the chalice lighting words in your order of service. To join with others in community is a gift we give ourselves and share with all who gather. We light this chalice to symbolize the brighter flame that arises from the convergence of those that guided our individual pathways to this, our spiritual home. And now let us pass the peace. Some folks love to move around. Might not be quite as easy as it was in the auditorium. Others prefer personal space. Let us do unto others what they wish, and then remain standing for our opening hymn. Thank you for singing today.
Please join me in our opening hymn, number 119, in the gray hymnal, Once to Every Soul and Nation.
Once to every soul and nation comes the
Good morning. Aren't we all so close here? Isn't that wonderful? That's great. You all sounded so good. I'm Bill Brock, he, him, your celebrant this morning. Welcome. We welcome all genders, ethnicities, bodies, and stories. Whatever you are carrying with you, whatever you long to set down or pick up today, may you find here the love, support, and encouragement you seek. Our church lies on the ancestral lands of the Iowa and Meskwaki people. May we strive to be in right relationship with this land and all who dwell here, both now and for generations to come. A special welcome to those who are new or newish to this community. We have a wonderful coffee hour after the service, and we hope that you will all join for food and fellowship. Our service this morning will feature the words of two of our members, Todd Lockman and Oge Nnadi. Todd and Oge, thank you for sharing. We look forward to hearing from you. And my gosh, we are absolutely delighted to welcome back Bruce Martin to the keyboard. As Unitarian Universalists, we gather together not bound by a creed, but by the living promises we make to one another. Please join with me in reading our congregation's aspirational relational covenant included in your order of service. Ever mindful of our interconnectedness, we aspire to care for our own well-being, each other's well-being, and the well-being of our community as a whole. We will recognize the inherent worth and dignity of all, be respectful and kind, valuing the gifts and individuality of all, listen with empathy, and consider the impact of our words and actions, be patient and understanding with each other, find a pathway, and work for reconciliation. We extend these promises to all whom we encounter in this community, members, visitors, staff, and guests. Let this covenant be the mending when the fabric of our congregation is torn. And now, a meditation by Maureen Killoran. Spirit of love and life, I come before you, black and brown and red and yellow and alabaster. I come longing for the simpler days that truly never were our lot, and I am an American. Hear these voices, as in the complexity of our days, I am humanist and Christian, Muslim and Jew, pagan and atheist and Buddhist and you, and I am an American. I am one who fought for my country, and I am at the same time one who protested war, and I am an American. Amongst the divisions of our days, I've struggled in poverty, and I've accepted the profits of wealth, and I am an American. I am an owner of weapons, and I am one who would control our nation's guns by limiting the who's and what's and how's, and I am an American. As light is shone on our divisions, I live with often unacknowledged privilege, and I am moved to rage at the complexity of intersecting oppressions, and I am an American. In the challenge of our days, I am one who supports my community, right or wrong, and I am one who claims the traditions of dissent, and I am an American. In this polarized season, I am Democrat and I am Republican, I am Libertarian and I am Independent, I am green and I am confused. And I am an American. Spirit of hope, sit with us in our diversities. Help us hear one another in our divisions. Grant that, beginning in this community, we may honor one another's truths and know that a just and faithful tomorrow begins here in our hearts. For with all our problems, with all our pain, with all our limitations and mistakes, we are Americans. And now, Jim Carty.
Good morning. My name is Jim Carty, pastoral care associate for your congregation. If you're going through a major life change, joyful, sorrowful, or something more complex, the pastoral care team is here to walk alongside you and listen as you navigate it. You can reach us by emailing pastoralcareteam@ucdsm.org. It says calling the number on the screen, but there's no screen. It's okay. Through the Caring Ministry community page on the church's website, by filling out a card and dropping it in the Cares and Concern box, which is just outside the auditorium, or by speaking with me, or any member of our team. We have a joy and a sorrow, both submitted by the Lockmans today. This first part, I can't stress how hard this was. The Lockmans are proud and grateful that their daughter Torin completed the Tour Divide, a 2,700-mile bike race from Banff, Canada, to Antelope Wells, New Mexico, which is basically the border with Mexico. She finished it in just under 21 days, and I can tell you from following her on Strava that it was not an easy ordeal. The Lockmans' thoughts are also with fellow competitor Alyssa Secreto, who was struck by a car 60 miles from the finish and was air flighted to El Paso. She is in stable condition, but her life changed in that instant. We know you are each carrying joy, sorrow, and loved ones in your hearts. Let's take a moment to share the names of those who may need extra care. Speak the names aloud or type them into the chat, and may the love of this community surround them all. We now light 3 candles. 1 candle for the joy and sorrow shared aloud, 1 for those shared in writing, and 1 for those held silently among us. For all of these, let us now take 1 minute out of our week to be silent for a time.
Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Comfort me, comfort me, comfort me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul. Sing with me, sing with me, sing with me, oh my soul.
I will read from the gratitude board back there. And by the way, if you haven't put up a thank you to somebody for a while. We do have openings there, so please do. This one is from earlier this year, but it's always applicable. Many, many thanks to the team of folks who provide rides to people who are having medical procedures and can't drive themselves home. It is greatly appreciated. That was offered by Denise Rathman. We now take up our morning offering as a practice of our generosity, for in giving we receive.
Good morning, friends. I am Todd Lockman, and these are my reflections of the USA at 250 years and a bit of what I know of my family's immigrant story. Imagine 1776 here in the Midwest. A small number of trappers, traders, and missionaries of European descent had traipsed through. Meanwhile, what were known as the 13 colonies decided to toss the Brits' favorite drink into Boston Harbor, jump ship, and declare truths that were self-evident. About 15% of the people had a say in how our early government was run, also known as white landowning males. Life went on as it had for many hundreds of years for the native populations in this region. The world's population was estimated at 800 million, and the colonies represented about 3% of that number. This would have been 10 generations ago. Now, fast forward to the United States centennial in 1876. The contours of what we now refer to as the continental U.S. were essentially formed, and the tribes who had called this place home for 100 generations or more were mostly dead of disease, displaced, or moved on to reservations, which became progressively smaller. Now, 150 years ago, my great-grandparents began immigrating to Minnesota. The world's population had grown to 1.4 billion, and our country's share was about 3%. At this point, 30% of our population had the ability to influence how government was run by using the ballot box. Still, only men qualified, and although owning land was not a requirement, Citizens may have been disenfranchised by a poll tax, literacy test, or arbitrary status as a Native American. Fun fact, the 1876 election set the bar for highest turnout with 81.8% of eligible voters casting a ballot. Nonetheless, a government of, by, and for all the people was still generations away. Now we leapfrog to 1776. We're to a point where perhaps half of you have direct memories. 1976. Thank you. The world's population has edged past 4 billion, and our country measured 5% of that total. Unless you were imprisoned or under 18, you could now vote. That's the good news. The bad news, only 54% of eligible voters actually did. Though my parents' cousins were still tied to the land as farm families, none of my cousins would carry on as farmers. What a contrast from 100 years prior, 1876, when nearly all my ancestors did. As a 6-year-old, watching the bicentennial parade and fireworks show in Long Prairie, Minnesota, I wondered what the future would hold for me as a 56-year-old. And could I be around as a 106-year-old? The jury is still out on the latter. That community, Long Prairie, perhaps Garrison Keillor fans can picture Lake Wobegon, was where my dad's family was rooted for 4 generations. All of my grandparents and their siblings were still alive. Grandpa Lockman recently retired after 45 years as a bank teller. My grandma was the town's hospital accountant for 35. It seemed to me they knew just about everyone, and just about everyone knew them. The main street bustled, and the town went all in on the parade and fireworks show. My 6-year-old self really enjoyed the free fudgesicles. My father was one of 3 brothers. My grandfather was one of 3 brothers, and so too my great-grandfather, one of 3 Lockman brothers. The Lockman family name is well represented in Long Prairie's Lutheran Church Cemetery. It's about as an idyllic story as one could conjure of the American dream. Yet, just like the rest of America, the dream could be a nightmare for the dispossessed. When I was a small child, my devotedly Christian grandfather, Otto, told me few Native Americans were to be seen when his grandfather arrived from Germany. Before Long Prairie was platted as a town, it was agency headquarters for the Ho-Chunk Nation, known to many as the Winnebago. The United States government subsequently moved the tribe, often forcefully, from Wisconsin to Iowa to the middle of Minnesota to southern Minnesota to South Dakota and finally Nebraska, offering bounties to capture those who refused. I realize now that all the land which provided sustenance to my immigrant forefathers was once under the stewardship of Native Americans, who in 1976 could only claim 2.3% of the land as a resource. Well, that brings me around to 2026. Our country's populace is up 60% in the last 50 years. The world's population has doubled, and our share is now 4%. In spite of current leadership that wants to embrace a romanticized past versus welcoming a multifaceted future, I am optimistic that a brighter, fully integrated society is possible and necessary. To my mind, expecting anything less would be a disservice to the spirit of 1776. In case you happen to wonder, my father and his two brothers became fathers of one boy and one girl each, altering the tradition of 3 Lockman brothers. However, my cousin Lisa married a preacher of African American descent, and what do you know? She is the mother of 3 sons, Nathaniel Javen and Ezra McNair. The one consistency of America is change. Perhaps in 50 more years, enforcement of our laws and due process will apply the same for all. Whether you are a citizen who becomes president or a migrant working towards citizenship, may life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness truly be an opportunity for every person in the United States and beyond our borders. Now that would be a delight to see at age 106.
I don't know if anybody knows this. You're all singing this with me. I'm going to give you all a note. Please hold it steady, and we'll take it from there. Keep going.
There's a river of my people, and its flow is swift and strong, flowing to some mighty ocean, though its course is deep and long, flowing to some mighty ocean, though its course is deep and long. Ooh.
Let's do an ooh now.
Many rocks and reefs and mountains seek to bar it from its way, but relentlessly this river seeks its brothers in the sea. But relentlessly this river seeks its brothers in the sea.
Now we're gonna have fun.
You will find us in the mainstream, steering far beyond the raging waters, we can see our certain home. Far beyond the raging waters, we can see our certain home.
I'm gonna split you down the middle. Keep going.
For we have mapped this river, and we know its mighty force, and the courage that this gives us will hold us to our course, and the courage that this gives us will hold us to our course.
On an ah now.
O river of my people, together we must go. Hasten onward to that meeting where my brothers wait, I know. Hasten onward to that meeting where my brothers wait, I know.
Ooh. Hi. Yeah. My name is Oge Nadi. My pronouns are he, him. All right. I'm lucky to be born in the United States and then to have lived outside the country for many years. So I want to share a couple of stories of what it's like experiencing the US from kind of an outsider point of view. So I was born in the 80s to Nigerian parents. My dad was in his 30s, my mom was in her 20s. He was a lecturer at the University of Maiduguri in the northern part of Nigeria. And he was kind of a hotshot, I guess, so his university sponsored him to get further education at the University of Washington in Seattle. So my parents flew to Seattle, and I was born while they studied there. Now, I was born 1 month prematurely, and so I had to spend some time in an incubator. I have no memories of this, obviously, but I do have a picture of me in kind of like a transparent box with what looked like dozens of wires attached to me. But I survived, life went on. So my parents' studies ended, and they had to return to Nigeria. And the way my dad tells it, he was so eager to return that he carted my mom, who was very pregnant with my younger brother, into the flight back home. And a few months later, my brother, Elo, was born in the University of Maiduguri Hospital. And boy, was it a shock, the difference. Elo, too, was born 1 month prematurely. And the way my mom describes it, we don't have pictures, but his incubator was barely more than a cardboard box. And at some point, she saw a mosquito landing on him, and she was like, that's it, we're going home right now. Same family, same class, but we had different outcomes based on where we were born. And so it made me feel good to lord it over my brothers that I was born in. Anyway, we survived, we thrived. We moved from the university to Lagos, the big city. And fast forward 17 years, I graduated high school, I applied to universities in Nigeria and also in the US because I loved computers and I wanted to study in the land of Microsoft and Bill Gates. It was the 90s. I eventually got admission to Grinnell College, and so I flew out here. And it was a whirlwind. learning to eat the food, deal with the cold, making friends. So first year flew by, and one day in my second year, I was walking by the dormitories, and I realized it had been a long time since I'd feared for my life. So if we take a step back, in Lagos, most populous city in the world, or at least a contender, when you walk down a suburban street, you don't see houses. You see fences. It's like concrete fences, 7 feet high, with barbed wire on the top, and then over the top of those, in the back, then you can see the tip tops of the houses inside. And that's because in the 90s, and since then, banditry was a big problem. So, and not just in Lagos, but in the whole country. So goons with guns would show up at night and ask your money or your life. As a kid, I'd hear stories from relatives who'd survived such encounters, and sometimes I would even hear gunfire at night. And so at some point, I must have just internalized the fear that going to sleep each night, I might be woken up by robbers. So that day, in my second year at Grinnell, I was walking past the dormitories and I realized I'd been sleeping, waking up, and walking around at night with no fear for my safety. So I was glad to be in the US. Anyway, fast forward to the 2020s. So I had graduated college, grad school too. I'd worked around the country. I'd even returned to Nigeria a few times. And I was back in Iowa. I was married this time. I was ready to settle down. I found a job as an IT contractor. But little did I know that the reason contractors get paid so well is because they're easy to fire. So worked that job for a couple of years, then got fired. Found another job soon after. And after another couple of years, I got fired. And this time there was a gap before I found employment again. And then I remembered seeing some flyer about unemployment benefits, and I thought, oh, why not? So I filled out the online forms, and a couple of weeks later, I got money in my bank account. I was like, sweet. So I kept filling out the forms, and I kept getting a little bit of money every week for about 3 months, and then the state of Iowa just kind of stopped. It's like, but it helped tide me through till I got reemployed. And again, growing up, I thought, once you lost your job, you're on your own. But somehow, because I was in the US, I wasn't quite so helpless. I know the US isn't perfect. I've heard that other countries, some like Sweden, they provide even better childcare and better unemployment benefits. At the same time, when friends or relatives from Nigeria, they come to visit me in the US, they tell me sad stories about how things are getting worse back home. In the 80s, my dad thought things were so good that he left the US voluntarily with a pregnant wife to return home to Nigeria and work for his country. Today, people travel out of Nigeria to give birth in the US just to receive the benefits that I got by chance. So I'm glad that the ideal of the US exists, and not just the ideal, but the niceness of day-to-day living with running water and 24/7 power and safe streets and emergency services and all that. And all of that makes me glad to be born here. Thank you.
Please join me. Please join me for our closing hymn, number 1017 in the Teal hymnal, Building a New Way. Please stand if you are willing and able.
We are building on a way. We are building
Please join with me in saying the extinguishing chalice words in your order of service. Together, we extinguish this flame. Let it dwell in our hearts through the days to come until we meet again. Let us ring the bell a final time for the hope that our nation will be one of justice, equity, and compassion, enabling the free and responsible search for truth and meaning, a nation that truly practices democratic process with the goal of a world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all.
Soul of truth, eternal goodness, sojourn with us as we part. Fill our minds with thy endeavor. Keep us just and pure in heart. Strengthen us for daily duty. Guide us by the inward light. Hallowed be each coming morning. Calm and peaceful be each night. Amen.
As this live stream from First Unitarian Church comes to an end, remember that previous live streams can be found on our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you in person someday. Until then, thanks for joining us.